Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'in amma ba'du. The Honorable Mrs. Ani Susanti, as the Head of English Education Department, the Honorable Mr. Surono and Mr. Abbas as the speaker today, respectable Mrs. Nur Fatimah and Mrs. Sofiah as the moderator today, respectable all the lecturers of English Education Department, and all beloved audience. First of all, let us thank the Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given us some mercies and blessings so that we can attain this agenda without any obstacles. Secondly, salawat and salam may always be given to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has guided us from the darkness to the lightness. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Azizah Mutiara Fensky. As the Master of Ceremony today, I would like to say welcome to webinar of Research Skill Series, Introduction to Qualitative Research Method in ELT, Research in Development and Content Analysis. We would like to thank everyone here for making time to attend this remarkable webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, before going to our agenda today, let me read the several agenda today. The first agenda is opening, the second agenda is singing Indonesia Raya and March Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. The third agenda is main agenda, and the last agenda is closing. Alright everyone, let us open today's agenda by reciting Basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For the next agenda is singing Indonesia Raya. For the administrator, time is yours. Thank you for the administrator. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are heading to the main agenda, webinar of Research Skill Series, Introduction to Qualitative Research Method in ELT, Research in Development and Content Analysis. Well, in our webinar today, the presentation will be divided into two sections. All the speakers and our moderator today are the lecturers of English Education Department of Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. For the first presentation will be delivered by Dr. Azwar Abbas M. Hum with the theme Research and Development. And also this section will be guided by our first moderator, Nur Fatimah M. Hum. For Mrs. Nur Fatimah, time is yours.
Okay, can you hear my voice clearly now? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Alhamdulillah. Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, Dr. Azwar Abbas and all participants of this webinar series on research methodology. I hope everyone here remained in good condition, happy and healthy. Are you? Hopefully, yes. Thank you for joining us, English Education Department of Universitas Ahmad Dahlan in this webinar series. So this is a series of, say, talk in research methodology. We relate this to the research in English language teaching. So this morning, the first session of this webinar will focus on research and development. So this type of research method is not to examine a theory. What is interesting from this research and development here is that it takes a process where the researcher does several steps leading to developing a product in the end. What is it? How is it conducted? And some technical issues of research and development will be elaborated by Dr. Abbas. Hello, Pak Abbas.
Hello, Vendor. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being with us here to present your ideas on research and development. Pak Abbas has graduated from bachelor degree from UAD, English Education Department, and then for his master degree from American Study in Universitas Gadjah Mada, and for his doctoral degree from Universitas Negeri 11 Maret. And this morning, Pak Abbas will be presenting here about research and development soon, hopefully, in about 45 minutes, inshallah. After that, we'll have a question and answer session. And if while joining this presentation, if you have some questions to ask, you are welcome to type your question in our chat box. Pak Abbas will be responding to the question, inshallah, later on. And now it is time for us to listen to Dr. Abbas' presentation here on research and development. Pak Abbas, please, the screen is yours.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Ibu Nur Fatimah, SPDM Home, as the moderator in this forum. So really happy to meet you here all, participants, teachers, lecturers, in this webinar series of ELT research. Okay, first of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you very much. So once again, I'm very happy to be with you all here, in this forum, to share, a little bit, a small thing I got from my experiences during teaching in our English department, and also my research experiences. Hopefully, the audience can participate actively. So if you have question, sorry. So if you have questions or something you have to know from this kind of research, so please write your question in our chat, so that the moderator will will read the question, and then I will try to answer. Okay, to start this section, so I am trying to share the easy of research and development, what we have been familiar with the term of R&D. So here maybe the language will be mixing. So some most of the language is in English, but for some crucial points, maybe I will explain more in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, so let me share my PowerPoint presentation here. Okay, can you see my share screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so here we have a term, one of the term in ELT research, that is research and development. So we it stands, or we can sort it R&D, the popular one. Actually R&D is a very common, very popular, in any, and not only in educational fields, but also industrial businesses. Say, for example, it is my own experiences, my own experiences. Maybe Bu Nur Fatima also has the experience. When I was a child, I knew sampo, sunsilk. So in the past I read it, sunsilk, sunsilk, in the past, because I was not familiar yet with Bahasa English in English at that time, so I read it sunsilk. My experience, I knew it well. So in the past, there was only, if I'm not mistaken, one type of sunsilk sample. So there is only one type. The color is only black. And then the case, wadahnya was not so beautiful as it is now. As the time grows, as the time flows, sunsilk, then finally we know it under Unilever company, changes. Now we have some colors of the sample. Sometimes we buy the white one. Sometimes we buy the green one. Or even the blue one, and so on. So the industry of sample, also develops. And who develops it? Siapa sih yang mengembangkannya? So usually, in industrial businesses, they also have a special department, to develop their products. So the department is R&D development. Jadi in the past, in industrial businesses, there is a special department, that always tries to innovate, that always tries to develop, to design new products. And also motorcycles, cars, and other vehicles. Honda in the past, we have very slow ride, and now we can have fastest one. And also the cars. So they develop from time to time. Now, the idea of research and development is also adopted in educational program or educational businesses, if we can say. So R&D is also needed in education. So that is why it is very important for us all here, at least to know the practical things, the practical activities, how to do research and development. So that is this is my short introduction. How R&D is very important in education. So without R&D, of course, we keep working on the same spot. So kalau kita tidak ada research and development, pastilah kita hanya jalan di tempat. So we only work on the same spot. So that is why R&D is very important. Okay, so go on to the next slide here. So we start first from the question, what is research? No article here because it is abstract, an abstract noun. So what is research? So this is very important for us to understand why we conduct the research. Bagaimana kita melakukan penelitian itu? So we have to understand first the principles of research. So here, research can be understood as a systematic investigation. So one keyword here is systematic. Everybody here, all, including me. So when we do a research, we have to do it systematically. We have a good plan, to do our investigation. The gathering and analysis of information, including research development, testing and evaluation, designed to develop or contribute to generalizable knowledge. So this is what we can understand the principle, the nature of research. So research must be done in a good plan. We have to do it systematically, starting from deciding the focus of our research, and then designing the goals, objectives, and then how we collect data, and also we analyze them, also preparing the instruments. So that is very important for us here, to understand the nature of research. So once again, research is a systematic investigation, including research development, testing and evaluation, designed to develop, so investigation, designed to develop, mengembangkan, to contribute, berkontribusi to generalizable knowledge, ilmu pengetahuan yang bisa dipakai secara umum. Okay, so this is what I hope here is that you can get the point, how research is very important in our daily life. Okay, now, sometimes, we also face a kind of research paradigm, a paradigma penelitian. So in our academic activities, sometimes we have quantitative research and also qualitative research. So here, quantitative research and qualitative research are the umbrellas, of the following kinds of research. So here, quantitative research means that we have numbers, we have numerical data, we proceed the data, and then we have the conclusion. So that is the quantitative research. Meanwhile, the qualitative research means that we have qualitative data, non-numerical data. In qualitative research, statements, words, opinions, sentences are dominant. But of course, numbers, are not prohibited, in qualitative research in order to support our research findings, our conclusion. So research and development is under qualitative research. But of course, it depends on how far we conduct the research and development. If it is only in the step of getting opinions, responses from the respondents, after we get the final product of the final product, it is poorly qualitative research, poor qualitative research, But if the product is experimented, we have control group and then experimental group, and then we will also calculate the data with t-tests and certain formulas, so that we can come to the conclusion that the product is effective for teaching vocabulary or teaching reading and so on. So if we have such kind of process, now we combine two different umbrellas of research, quantitative research and qualitative research. What we are popular now, what we know it very popular mixed method, a mixed research. So we combine qualitative and quantitative research. The mixed method can only be applied when in research and development. When the product is experimented. So the step of the final product of developing product to the experimentation, masuk kepada experiment. So in the experiment, we divide the groups into control group and experimental group, and then we keep pre-test and then post-test, and then we calculate to know, to find out the effectiveness of the product. So we have quantitative research and qualitative research. So we combine them into mixed method research. Okay, so this is the paradigm of the research. Research and development is naturally under the qualitative research, but it is only when we only come the final stage, the final step is only getting opinions, responses, ideas, from the respondents for the product. Are they satisfied? Or maybe are they do they agree with the design, with the function, and so on. So if we only have it, have the ideas, the opinions, responses, we have the qualitative one. Okay, so next, this is only other theories, from Borg and Gall and Gay in 1990. Yes, really old definition here, but still relevant. So from Borg and Gall, educational research and development is an industry-based development model in which the findings of research are used to design the products and procedures, which then are systematically field tested, evaluated, and refined until they meet specified criteria of effectiveness, quality, or similar standard. So according to Borg and Gall, RnD here is taken from the philosophy of industry. Yeah, R&D in education is taken from industry based development model. Diambil dari model pengembangan berbasis industri. Ya, industri artinya dunia industri yang ada itu memiliki department tadi seperti yang sudah saya katakan, department R&D ya, department R&D mereka khusus untuk mengembangkan satu produk ya, melalui berbagai macam proses. Nah, they are systematically still relevant to the definition of research previously. So we do it systematically, field tested, evaluated, and refined until they meet specified. Sampai ketemu specified criteria. So we have to determine first the criteria of a good product. So that is why we have to get some sources for deciding the good criteria of a product. Let's say, for example, if you design book materials, you have to read first maybe from Kingsford or Hammer what good criteria a book has. And from Gay, the major purpose of R&D effort is not to formulate or test theory. Of course, not to test theory, but to develop effective products for use in school. Products produced by R&D efforts include teacher training materials, learning material, sets of behavioral objectives, media material, and management system. So Borg and Gall is still general definition, while Gay, defined specifically to educational purposes, untuk tujuan pendidikan. Okay, so here, according to Gay, R&D is not to test theory, but to develop effective products for use in school. So what are the products here? We have training materials, learning materials, sets of behavioral objectives, media material, and management system. Now, from the two theories here, we can get several points. So here the first point is that R&D is developing product, yaitu mengembangkan sebuah produk. The product must meet certain criteria. Jadi produk itu harus ketemu dengan kriteria tertentu. Say, for example, if you develop multimedia vocabulary learning, you have to know clearly good criteria of multimedia for vocabulary learning. If you develop learning materials, books, for example, or storybooks, you have also to know the criteria of a good textbook or storybook. So they must meet the criteria. And the last one, we have to do it systematically. Kita harus lakukan secara sistematis. From designing the model until testing, then testing the product, and then evaluating the product until designing the final product. Okay, really hope that everybody here, in this forum can get the points of R&D. Okay, so from the two definitions, we can come to this question, what can we design or develop actually in ELT? Ya. Jadi pertanyaannya apa sih yang bisa kita desain atau kembangkan dalam konteks in the context of ELT, English Language Teaching. Yeah. So we have this is my own judgment maybe ya. We have 4 M's here. Ya. Ada 4 M di sini. Ya. Maybe others may have more. Ya, more M's ya. But at least we have learning materials. So here, we can design or develop ELT learning materials. Ya, kita bisa mengembangkan materi bahasa Inggris, materi learning materials. Ya. Say for example, now we concern with character building for our students. So English teaching may also contribute to build our students' character or values. Now, one of the ways to develop or to build the character is by developing English materials based on character building. Nah, jadi bisa kita mengembangkan materi kalau selama ini mungkin tidak terlalu khusus ya. So far, maybe the materials are not so specific to character building. Now here we, as the developer of English materials, we may design or develop English learning materials based on character building. Or maybe we have also some local wisdom. Ada kearifan lokal, kearifan lokal. We are also responsible to keep, to take care our local wisdom. We may also develop, learning materials based on local wisdom. So the first M is learning materials. You can or we can develop learning materials. And then learning media. Learning media. In the past, maybe teachers only use blackboard and chalks. Now we can develop the media. We have audio, we have video, we have audio, video, and so on. So we also have some application. So we can use the application, the technology product to develop any English learning media. This is the second M we can develop. And the third M is method. Method. I'm sure that we have know some learning methods, theoretic. But we ourselves can also develop our own method. Kita bisa mengembangkan metode kita sendiri. We can name. Finally we can name. Kita bisa menamai metode tersebut apa. As the previous experts, say for example, we have project-based learning method, and then we have also collaborative method and so on. So we may also develop, design, or make the existing methods better and better through our development program. And the last one is model. Maybe it is almost, I do not know exactly similar to method or not, but we may also have we may also develop a learning model for learning English learning. So maybe we read first some models of English learning, and then we may develop which one can work well for our students. So these are the objects, the objects we can develop in RnD, So we have materials, we have media, we have method, we have model. Now, as my own experiences, in guiding the students baccalaureate thesis, most of them were developing materials and media, most of them, Jadi kebanyakan yang selama ini sudah kita bimbing itu mengembangkan materi ataupun media pembelajaran. That's okay. Maybe method and model we have no enough maybe theoretical background, maybe that's okay. But at least you know what to develop related to materials and media. Okay, so this is the question: what can we design or develop? Sometimes as students also question, sebenarnya mau mengembangkan apa sih, bisa kita kembangkan apa saja, So these M's, these M's can be, our inspiration, maybe can be resources to develop something in under RnD research. Okay, sorry, Bunur, if I still have limited time, you may remind me.
Okay, Pak.
Okay, thank you. Next, actually there are several models, of RnD. There are several models of RnD. Here, I only present 2 models of RnD. First one is from Dick and Carey, in 1996. So we call it ADDIE model. Jadi sebenarnya ada banyak sekali, ada beberapa model dari RnD, tapi mungkin semakin banyak, the more we know the model, the more confused we are. Semakin banyak nanti maka semakin bingung. So I give it to only models, of RnD. So the first one, and it's very popular, among researchers, we call it AD model or ADDIE model. Modelnya ini terdiri dari 5 langkah saja. So there are 5 stages, of this model from Dick and Carey. So the first model, so the first step or the first stage is analysis. Analysis. So in this step, we do analysis. We do analysis first. So what do we analyze here? Apa yang kita analisis di sini apa? So analysis may refer to needs analysis. Bisa mengarah kepada needs analysis or the existing products analysis, atau analisis produk yang sudah ada. Nah, one thing we have to remember, we are not the first, actually. We are not always the first, developer, the first designer. I'm sure that there have been other people, who designed the same products. Saya yakin ada orang lain yang sudah melakukan produk ini, yang sudah membuat produk ini, produk itu, produk ini. Nah, but it doesn't mean that we stop innovating. Tapi bukan berarti kita berhenti melakukan inovasinya, tidak bermaksud seperti itu. Atau ini sudah ada, udah banyak yang mendesain, Oh, kalau gitu saya nggak perlu. So we don't think like that. So we keep developing, we keep designing, but of course we have to analyze first, the existing product. We can focus on the strengths and also the weaknesses. So here our responsibility is making the weaknesses perfect, more perfect. Ya, jadi membuat yang lemah tadi, misalnya materi itu masih ada yang kurang. Nah, kita bisa menyempurnakannya dengan memberikan satu kelebihan-kelebihan yang. And then we come to design, we come to design the product. Of course, we have to design first, If you develop learning materials, you have to prepare the syllabus, so that it will guide the next step of development. Ya, jadi nanti harus ada dulu desainnya seperti apa, ya. And in the process of designing the product, we have to involve, other people. We have to call experts. We have to consult, our design to experts. Let the experts judge or evaluate our design, and then we evaluate. We revise, the design, until we get the final one, and then we develop. We develop the product. We develop the product. While we are developing the product, we also consult, the developed product to experts. We need their evaluation. We need their suggestion. We need their criticism, in the development process. Soon after we get the final product, after the development process, we implement. So we implement the product. So in the step of implementation, it depends on our time availability. For bachelor students, for their thesis, maybe it will take a long time, to experiment or to implement it in car, so that you can also have a kind of getting responses, perspectives, ideas, from the respondents. And then the last step is evaluation. So we evaluate all, the product. So still we need expert judgment, expert evaluation in the last step. Soon after we evaluate, we are in the last step. We can get the final product of our RnD. So we only have 5 steps here in dig and carry model. Now, now the second model is from Borg and Gall. So this is very actually we have 10 steps here. 10 steps here. 10 steps here. So we start from need assessment, need analysis, we distribute, questionnaire, maybe we interview, the respondents, and then we come to plan, designing, learning the design, product design, and then we come to early product development, peer-to-peer evaluation. So here you may, let your friend, our friends, to evaluate, our early product development. So we have students, teachers may evaluate our early product. And then we come to first task. We come to expert evaluation. We come to expert evaluation. So in step 3, no need to call experts. But in the 4th step, we call, experts. And then we come to revise early product, and then we field test, we have field test here, field test 1, field test 2, we experiment, we implement the product in the classroom, so we have a kind of field test here. And then we come to revise product, and then operational test, we test again. We test again. We can also have ideas or criticism from experts. And then we revise final product. And the last one is implementation. So here from Borg and Gall, yeah, if we can summarize, yeah, we have needs assessment or needs analysis, design, and then early product evaluation, and then expert evaluation, field test, operational test, and implementation. Implementation means that the final product is eligible to implement in educational system, yeah, atmosphere. So if you design the media, yeah, your media is eligible, yeah, it's good, yeah, to practice in English teaching. So these are this is the model from Brock and Gall. So here, yeah, just to remind us all here, yeah, the starting points of RnD are needs analysis and existing product evaluation. Yeah? The needs analysis is very important, yeah, for you, for us, yeah, to do RnD. Yeah? So needs analysis, yeah, the data of needs analysis are from students or teachers or maybe parents. Yeah. So respondents will become the source of our needs analysis. And then existing product evaluation. As I mentioned previously, yeah, we are not the first designers, the first developers. There must be somebody else, yeah, who have designed the same product, yeah, the same materials, the same media. But it doesn't mean that we have no motivation to develop. So we study, we try to get the weaknesses, yeah, of the product so that we get the points and then we develop. So these are the points we have to know that our RnD. Next, we come to the practical ones. Yeah. So who becomes respondents of our RnD? So actually, RnD will involve other people. Ya, akan melibatkan orang lain. So we will get other people to involve in our RnD. So the first is students, of course. Yeah. So when we conduct our needs analysis, of course, we need students. Yeah. So we distribute our questionnaire, our instrument to students. And then experts. Yeah, experts are very important. Yeah, experts are very important for evaluating our early design product or our final product. The experts must be more than 2 at least, ya, for bachelor program. Ya. Lebih dari 2, ya, setidaknya 3 lah, ya, at least 3 experts, ya, involved, ya, yang terlibat. Kalau misalnya mendesain materi bahasa Inggris untuk anak berbasis pada kearifan lokal. Nah, berarti ada ahli budaya, ada ahli buku anak, ada ahli materi bahasa Inggris untuk anak, itu setidak-tidaknya. Ya, itu yang harus kita libatkan menilai produk kita. And of course, maybe users, ya, it can be teachers or students again. Ya. Jadi users atau teachers or students again may also become our respondents when we get their responses, yeah, their opinions about our final product. And then how are data collected? Ya? Bagaimana sih data itu dikumpulkan? So here, actually, there is not so many data. Yeah, we get, we collect in this kind of research. Yeah. So the first data related to the students' needs, ya, berkaitan dengan apa yang dibutuhkan oleh siswa atau responden. Maka kita cara mengumpulkannya, we conduct needs analysis. So what is the instrument? So the instrument is a questionnaire. yeah, questionnaire. We can have closed questionnaire or open. Yeah, it depends on how many data, yeah, how many kinds of data, yeah, we are going to get here, yeah. And then we will also get data related to product evaluation, yeah, product evaluation. We ask experts, yeah, to judge, yeah, to evaluate our product. So here we do evaluating products. Now, what is the instrument? So the instrument is called by evaluation checklist. Ya, yaitu kita mengembangkan checklist evaluasi. Ya, checklist evaluasi. Nah, in designing evaluation checklist, yeah, we can use some options, yeah, using, for example, Likert scale, ya. Sangat setuju, setuju, atau ada 5 itu nanti bisa kita pakai dan dalam mengembangkan in developing the instrument. And then we may also interview the respondents. Yeah? If it is needed, we may interview. We may interview our respondents. So while we are interviewing the respondents, of course, we have a kind of interview guideline. So we have to prepare first, the interview, the questions we have to interview. Yeah, so if no free interview. Yeah, so there must be guided interview. And then the last one, it is possible to have a test, yeah, to conducting a test. Yeah? So if you bring your field test, yeah, in the classroom, yeah, you experiment your product and then you test your students. Of course, you need test items, yeah, as the instrument of getting the result of the students' vocabulary, maybe mastery, yeah, or maybe the writing ability of the students. So we have to test our students.
Sorry to interrupt, Pak Abbas.
Okay.
You still have 4 minutes to go.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. So this is the last, okay, slide, yeah, not the last 2 slides, sorry. And then how are data analyzed, yeah? So actually, since it is qualitative research, data are analyzed easily, yeah? So we display the data and then we reduce the data until we come to the conclusion. So sentences, statements, and then words are parts of qualitative data analysis. Yeah. Now, related to how to state whether they are good or not good, so we have to consult to Likert scale. Ya, nanti bisa kita baca lagi skala-skala yang kita pakai dalam menentukan apakah bagusnya itu di angka berapa, tidak bagusnya di angka berapa, setujunya di angka berapa. So we have to consult to certain scales, yeah, in data presentation. Okay, so data in RnD, yeah, are analyzed in a simple way. Yeah, we display the data and then we reduce some unimportant data, and then we can come to conclusion. Okay, so these are the way to construct the title and also the example. So we have some keywords here. So in our title, there must be words like designing, developing, yeah, and then what to design, what to develop, yeah, as variable X, yeah, and then for what English skill, sorry, not Y, but variable Y, yeah, and then for whom, ya, untuk siapa, anak SD kelas berapa, SMP kelas berapa, where and when, di mana, SMP mana, SD mana, tahun kapan, tahun pelajaran kapan. So these are the points, yeah, the points in constructing the title in RnD. So this is the example of the title, Developing Local Wisdom-Based Materials for English Learning of the 11 graders of SMA Muhammadiyah 1 Yogyakarta in the 2022 and the 2023 academic year. So we construct a complete title. Yeah? There must be a keyword here, developing what to develop, local wisdom-based materials for what? English skill or for English learning. And then for whom? 11 graders, where? SMA Muhammadiyah 1 Yogyakarta, when? In the 2022 and 23 academic year. So this is the example of the title, yeah, in RnD. Okay, I think that's all, Bu Nur Fatima. Yeah, thank you very much. Welcome the questions or maybe some comments from the audience. Yeah. Once again, thank you very much for the time given to me by the moderator. And now I give back the time to you again, Bu Nur Fatima.
Thank you very much, Pak Abbas, Dr. Azwar Abbas from English Education Department of Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. The details are interesting and insightful here, and I believe some of you will be inspired by this presentation to do research and development. Probably some of you have already done RnD or are still doing your RnD or will do your RnD. Here with us, Pak or Mas Suhendri Palaguna has a question, Pak Abbas. Let me read this. Regarding the evaluation, apart from asking for feedback from experts, do researchers also need to ask students' opinion, such as giving a questionnaire? So do the researchers also need to ask for students' opinion?
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mas Suhendri Palaguna. Yeah. Okay, so it depends on the research questions. Yeah, the research question we have. Yeah. If you question, ya, if you question, ya, kalau Mas Hendri ya mempertanyakan, ya, if you have a question like this, how is the student's response? How is the student response toward the final product, of the English materials, Jadi Mas Suhendri mempertanyakan di research question itu bagaimanakah respon atau tanggapan siswa terhadap produk yang telah didesain. Nah, of course, you need to at least give questionnaire again to the students. You may also interview to interview the students. Maybe you can get more variations of answers. Mungkin nanti akan mendapatkan pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang jawaban-jawaban yang bervariasi. Once again, if you do not question the responses, of course, you need to deploy or to give the questionnaire to the student. Say, for example, the third question is the effectiveness. Maka kalau sudah di effectiveness itu tidak perlu lagi ada semacam menanyakan opini pendapat dari responden siswa. Begitu ya, Mas Hendri ya. Can you get the point, Mas Hendri?
Yes, sir. Thank you for your explanation.
Okay, yeah, my pleasure.
Okay, so the researcher either asking for students' opinion through questionnaire, or it is also possible to have an interview to get the feedback from the users or from the students. Thank you very much, Pak Abbas. You are also invited, other participants, please, by raising your hand if you have something to ask or you want to ask for confirmation about the process that you have been doing so far. RnD is, as Pak Abbas has presented, consists of different steps or stages. So probably the dynamics, the problems, the challenge can be at the stage of analysis. Probably you got something to ask when you are doing this, the step of analyzing the student's need, or when you design the product, or when you develop or implement or evaluate. Is there any?
Yeah, hello, everybody here. Yeah.
While we are waiting for the participants to respond, probably Pak Abbas has some more or further points in relation to research and development, Pak Abbas.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bu Nur. So, yeah, one thing I need to say here that, yeah, every research is not easy nor difficult. Ya. Jadi penelitian itu sebenarnya tidak ada yang sulit, tidak juga mudah, ya, tidak juga mudah. So it depends on ourselves, ya. So if we have got the patience to do the research, the ease will come, ya. Jadi kemudahan itu akan datang. Some students, as my own experiences, say that doing RnD is very difficult, because it needs a long process. Jadi dia ini membutuhkan proses yang panjang. But actually it is a challenge, for you, the students, who have such kind of research. So here one thing you have to remember that we really know, what to develop. Kita benar-benar tahu apa yang mau dikembangkan tuh, ya. Jangan sampai nanti kita tidak tahu ini mau mengembangkan apa. Jadi so if you want to do this kind of research, we really know what to develop. Nah, as I mentioned previously, we have needs analysis, existing product analysis. These are the two activities we have to do before we start our development process. So needs analysis is a kind of gathering data related to what our students need, what our students need related to our learning materials development.
Okay, Pak Abbas, we have one here from Ms. Ratri. Here she stated there are several theories of RnD, such as Borg and Gall, ADDIE, etc. The question is, what points of consideration that we need to take into account to determine, okay, let me go. To determine which theories we will utilize in our research. And also still related to our limitation in time, I also read here the questions from Mr. Maspat Yukyantoro here about data collection. Data collection that refers to devices or instrument as questionnaire, case studies, checklists, interview, observation sometimes, and surveys or other questionnaires. Here, what is the answer? Of course, we need your answer about the, say, which one is not one of the major methods of data collection that are used by educational researchers. We have A, focus groups, secondary data, questionnaires, and checklists. What do you think about these two responses from our participants here.
Yeah, thank you very much for the questions. Yeah, from Buratri here. Yeah, actually, maybe Dick and Curry. Simplify here. Have the simpler. The simple one. But actually, if we apply, if we implement all steps, all stages, either in ADDI and also Borg and Gall, for example, we need also to do all the steps, all the stages. Say, for example, in the steps of analysis, either Dick and Carey, and Borg and Gall starts from assessment. Assessment refers to analysis, actually. So we start from needs analysis. That's okay. Both of them start from needs analysis, and then we come to design. Design. So while we are designing, of course, we have to evaluate our design. Actually, no special consideration here. ADDIE is maybe this the chart. The chart is not so big. Not so complete as it is in Borg and Gall. But principally, both models, both models implement specific steps, stages, in all the process of developing a product. So no specific consideration. Say, for example, if it is for technological product, we use Borg and Gall, and if it is only materials or maybe syllabus or curriculum, we use ADDIE model. No, because they must pass or follow expert judgment, peer assessment, expert judgment, But in ADDIE model, they look more simple. Jadi mungkin lebih sederhana, lebih bagannya tidak, the chart is not so crowded as it is in Borg and Gall. Okay.
From Mas Yukiantoro, there are 4 options here, Pak Abbas. The first is focus groups, and then secondary data, questionnaires, and checklists. The question is, which of the following is not one of the major methods of data collection used by educational researchers? He needs you to, he asked, you, Pak Dr. Abbas, to confirm.
Yeah.
And explain.
So, okay. So primary or major or minor, methods of data collection, depends on the data, the status of the data we need in our research. So if they are, so the data we collect must refer to the questions or the objectives or the goals of our research. So the data in our research question or goals or objectives belong to major data, major data. Jadi data yang kita yang kita sebutkan yang akan mendukung pertanyaan atau tujuan penelitian itu termasuk pada major data. So we have to collect the data based on the type of the data, tergantung pada jenis data yang akan diperoleh. So if it is, if we question, kalau kita mempertanyakan what are the students' needs for English learning materials in character building program, kita saja begitu. Nah, maka questionnaire interview will was a lot of time. Yeah, if we interview a number of students. Yeah, so it is easier for us to distribute questionnaire. So questionnaire in such kind of question belong to major data collection. Ya, jadi metodnya itu ya major method of data collection. Ya, and then the second question. Yeah, the second question. Say for example, how does the final product of X, kata saja begitu, meet the criteria of blah 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 blah, begitu ya. Nah, to know whether the product meet a certain criteria or not, yeah, we need expert judgment, yeah, expert judgment, yeah. Nah, expert judgment will complete our instrument checklist, ya, checklist. So we prepare the instrument, ya, berupa apa tadi, evaluation checklist, ya, berupa evaluation checklist. Of course, we have to consult the checklist. I mean the options, ya, choose certain scale, ya, standard scale. Umumnya kita pakai skala Likert ya 1 sampai 5 gitu ya. So then the experts only maybe give a tag, put a tag on our instrument, or maybe we may also give questions for them, for the expert to write something, to evaluate, maybe to give suggestions, comments. The checklist evaluation is a major method of data collection. And the last one, if we question about the effectiveness of the product, the effectiveness of product in vocabulary learning, of course we have to test. We have to experiment first, and then we have to test. So testing, giving a test is the major method of collecting the data. So once again, Pak Yogyantoro, this is he's my student in Bahasa Sarjana, from Kalimantan, Bu Nur, very smart student here, in our department, mendapatkan LPDP Pak Yogyantoro beasiswa LPDP, kemudian mendaftar di PBI S2 UAD. I think that's all. So the method of data collection depends on the goals, the objectives of our research. I think that's all, Bu Nur.
Thank you very much, Pak Abbas. So from Pak Abbas's explanation here, we hope that the participant, especially Pak Yogyantoro, can take a conclusion on which of the methods of data collections are not the major data collections method. And I think we are we will be going to the following session, that is the session on content analysis, presented by Mr. Dr. Surono M. Hum here. And this will be the end of our session in research and development. Once again, thank you very much, Pak Dr. Abbas, SPTM Hum, and thank you very much all participants joining our webinar series on research methodology here from our department, English Education Department of Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Universitas Ahmad Dahlan. Thank you very much. I'll give the time back to our moderator here, our MC here, Mbak Aziza. Please, Mbak Aziza.
Thank you very much,
everybody here. Okay, so we go on to the next section with Mr. Surono. Thank you, Bu Nur. Thank you, everybody, Bu Ratri. Okay, I give back to MT.
Okay, thank you very much for our first speaker and moderator. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next presentation will be delivered by Dr. Surono M. Hum, and also this section will be guided by our second moderator, Sofiah M. Hum. For Mrs. Sofiah, time is yours.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss.
Thank you, Mbak Aziza, for introducing me as the moderator for the second sessions of this webinar. And welcome, everybody, to this second sessions of this webinar with the focus on content analysis. For today's webinar, especially in the second session, we will have Pak Surono, Pak Dr. Surono M. Hum as the speaker. And as I believe that everybody has already got the information about about this webinar, why this webinar is important, or why webinar is held anyway. So especially for students, PBI or English Education Department students who are going to do the research, this webinar, which is focusing on the qualitative research method, will be very important and very helpful to prepare the students to be more ready and more prepared to do the research, which is going to be done, or they have to do that very soon. So so because of that consideration, this webinar is held. And for the second sessions, the focus will be on content analysis. And for that, we will have Dr. Surono M. Hum as the speaker. And as we all know that Dr. Surono is one of the experts in the department, and having completed in UNS, Universitas Negeri Surakarta, for his bachelor degree, and then continuing the study to linguistics department Universitas Gajah Mada for his master degree, and then Universitas Negeri Surakarta again for his doctorate degree. I believe that Pak Surono as or Pak Dr. Surono as the speaker of the second session today has had long experience and career in ELT research field, and in addition to his expertise in linguistics. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pak Mr. or Bapak Dr. Surono M. Hum as the speaker today. Please welcome Pak Surono.
Well, thank you, Ms. Sophie. Mrs. Sophie. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, my dearest another speaker, Mr. Abbas, the host, and then the moderators, and my dear all the participants. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for this chance. I didn't want to teach you yet. I just want to share the ideas in relation to content analysis. But before that, I would like to correct the UNS is Universitas 11 Maret Surakarta, not Universitas Negeri Surakarta. Teman sekali kita negeri ya. Universitas 11 Maret, the city is Surakarta. Okay. In this case, or in this occasion, I was assigned to talk about content analysis. I think this topic is not so strange for you all. I think you are familiar, even very familiar to this topic. But how many researches have been conducted in our department? That is one thing which we can ask. I think, as a matter of fact, there have been many enough, yeah? But the variety of the topics may be not so various. That is why we hope that after I can say my presentation, we hope that there will be more varieties in conducting content analysis. And in reality, this topic is, I can say, very broad, very broad. I can say absolutely broad, because the topics can be taken from various media, from various sources. However, as long as we belong to a language department, especially English, of course, the variety will be limited to that point. And that is why the variety is less limited. But actually, we can do the content analysis cross-sectionally. I mean, this can be managed in multi application. Or this is actually not a single issue, but it can be done in relation to other types of researches. That is the general idea. Well, let me share my PPT. But I don't want to show you handsome man, beautiful women. Yeah? You have got them from Mr. Abbas. Yeah? I hope that you didn't misunderstand. You focus on the gentleman. Okay, this is a kind of let us say just traditional display. Yeah? Traditional display. Okay, can you see my PPT, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. However, I would like to ask, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. At that time, I was assigned by the head of English department that the topic of this talk is prepared to to what is it? To enrich the students' topics in research. Yeah. To enrich the topics in research, especially in finishing their studies in writing scripture. That is why here I put a subtitle in this case, preparing content analysis research in ELT. Because I was informed that the participants will be mostly at that time, would be mostly the students sitting in semester 6. That is why I do this. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me make it so, but I'm not so sure whether I can move to next slide easily or not. Okay, would you please tell me if I'm explaining another point, but the slide doesn't move. Yeah, okay. Content analysis, this is our main topic. Our main topic. From this, from particular questions, what is in content analysis? What is content? And then content of what? The content of what? And then what is analyzed or what are analyzed? Those questions can be addressed to the theme content analysis. We are talking about content, content of what, and the analysis. Generally, when we are talking about content, we can assume that this is something implied. We cannot see the content easily. That is the general idea. Content. What are in your pocket? This is the content of the pocket. We cannot see. Or what are the contents of your bag? We cannot see. That is why the content here, because it is invisible, we cannot see it clearly. The content can be understood more easily through what they said. We can say the surface objects. In relation to language, of course, the content can be seen through understanding the media which contain the content. That is the general idea. The content here can be understood as the message, the information which contain, the messages which are contained in, say, for example, in a text, in a passage, in a sentence, even in a word, for example. That is content. And then the content of what? The content of what? Yeah, this inquiry can be addressed to the objects which we can analyze. On the content in general, of course, the content of the messages, the content of the information, the content of what is it, the surface object which we can see directly. Is a general point. Yeah? And then what is analyzed in content analysis, or what are analyzed in this case? Of course, we can, as I told you previously, that this is very good, and in reality, we can analyze many units. It means that there are many units of analysis in content analysis. But of course, generally, those units of analysis are meant to what they say, to expose a general idea, to expose a general theme in this kind of research. That is the general idea, just an introduction. Okay. And then we can see this one, yeah, for this content, yeah. As I told you, content is information presented with a purpose, distributed to people in a form through a channel. The channel here can be various in form. Yeah? We can analyze the objects in education, in ELT, exactly in textbooks, in newspapers, in magazines, in social media, and so on. So then the channel is various in this case. So information presented, message presented, or we can also say meaning presented. Okay. And then this is just a representation, the examples of the representation of the media which we can, or the channel which we can take the topic in the content analysis. For example, here we can see the social media, which contain Twitter, Facebook, something like Instagram, and so on. And then the newspapers, printed newspapers, and also online newspapers. Actually, we can take the topics from those media on those channels as what they said, as to conduct the content analysis. Okay, let us see, especially in those new from this topic. Yeah, I quoted some definitions, of content analysis from some sources, from some experts. Firstly, content analysis can be understood as any technique for making inferences by systematically and objectively identifying special characteristics of messages. Here we can say messages, that is the content, and the content must be inferred when doing content analysis, because once again, the content is not visible. That we cannot see the content easily. That is why the content must be inferred. Must be inferred through the media or through the channel. And because this is a part of analysis, a part of research, then this must be conducted systematically and objectively. Though in certain cases, subjectivity may also intervene, but of course with a limited sense, in order that as long as we do not arrive at the what they said, the points which is bias. And then the second definition from Berson, and this is a long definition, but this is still relevant. Yeah. Content analysis is a research technique for the objective, systematic, and quantitative description of the manifest content of communication. Content of communication, this is the idea. Yeah. The communication can be done orally, can be done spokenly, can be done writtenly. It means there is a written communication, there is spoken communication. And that is why the analysis can be related to the spoken language, but as long as it is more difficult to analyze the spoken language, then the spoken language is transcribed into written form. That is just a kind of process. Content analysis can be or can include both human coded analysis and computer aided text analysis. As long as it is, it can be qualitative, it can also be quantitative. Yeah. If we read the books, yeah, references, that result of researches, we can find that content analysis can be conducted quantitatively and qualitatively. And computer-aided text analysis of data usually refers to quantitative content analysis. Another understanding shows that content analysis is a systematic research method for analyzing textual information in a standardized way that allows evaluators to make inferences about that information. Yeah, this is not so different from the first definition, just to make us have more, yeah, more references, yeah. Similar thing, yeah, inferences, yeah, and textual information. Another understanding can be taken from Constable in his book Ethnography, Observational Research, and Narrative Inquiry, in which you can see that content analysis is an interpretative and naturalistic approach that is both observational and narrative in nature. This is also important to understand. Firstly, a naturalistic approach. This is naturalistic approach. It means that the analysis should refer to the language which is used by the speakers, the speakers directly. Or this is not a kind of what they say, unreal language, but it is natural. And then narrative in nature, it means that we can understand that this is not just a single unit, a single element in the analysis. The form is something like narrative, which we can have narrative inquiry, narrative research, It means that because the common form of unit of analysis text, then this is narrative in nature. These are some understandings of content analysis. I hope that you can take the main points. I think those highlighted with red, I think those are the key ideas of content analysis. And then just to info, just to make you to understand that there are various applications or various researches of content analysis. I took from a certain source, just to enrich your understanding related to content analysis research. For example, has been applied to investigate naturally occurring language. Naturally occurring language from Markle, and then newspaper coverage of the greenhouse effect from Miller. Actually, this is another thing, yep. And then latest to the editor from Perrin and Vesey. And then how characters of different genders are shown on TV. They are just examples of researches related to content analysis. Other researches can be seen here. Once again, this is just information to enrich our understanding in order that we can take up more topics in content analysis. For example, here content analysis has been used in such highly specific studies in relation to, for example, analyzing Turkish elementary school math books. In this case, we can say in our context, analyzing Indonesian elementary school English books, for example. Can see so. And then another research, Greenway plants in Northwest Indiana. And then questions asked by patients and companions in physician-patient interactions. Actually, we can do this, physician-patient interaction. There are questions asked by physician, and then the answers are given by the patients, and the transcriptions of the questions can be analyzed in this case. Another point, another research is web page search and Google group readiness for living and dead public intellectuals. This is just for to make us understand. And then number 5, the emotional tone of social networking comments, namely sentiment analysis from these writers. And then the linguistic substance of the writings of a 19th century explorer leading up to his suicide. This is another research analysis. Though there is no use of the term content analysis, but these belong to content analysis. And then the substance of Canadian winery websites. In short, we can say that the topics of content analysis can be derived from or can derive from many sources, derived from many channels, from many media, and so on. This is just once again to enrich our understanding. Okay, this one, yeah, is right. Yeah. Content analysis is used to determine the presence of certain words, themes, or concepts within some given qualitative data. In this case, in text, within a text. So please, to determine the presence of certain words, themes, concepts. Of course, we can also say certain sentences, certain phrases, and then themes, concepts. Content analysis is also used to quantify and analyze the presence, meanings, and relationship of certain words, themes, and concepts. The first one, the first point refers to qualitative content analysis, and the second one refers to the quantitative analysis commonly. And then content analysis observes the formal content of written material. The content of written material, can here be various, various, and written material can also derive from spoken language, or spoken language, which is transcribed into written form. And then content analysis describes the attitudes or perceptions of the author of that material. It means that in content analysis, we do not only focus on the written material, but we can also analyze further which which surrounds the written form on the written material. For example, in relation to the author, the author's perceptions, the author attitudes, for example. Actually, we can also come into that point in content analysis. So it is not merely related to language analysis in surface form, but as long as it is content, we can also arrive at something behind the written material. And then in content analysis, the evaluators can observe the key items on the content of a report, article, video, film, and other forms of recorded information. This can be understood as the analysis units in content analysis, but these are still limited. Actually, there are still many more. So content analysis of a report, of an article, of a video, a film, and recorded information, other recorded information. And there are many more actually. And then in content analysis, researchers can make inferences about. Previously, we got the definition related to this. Researchers can make inferences about the messages within the text, about the writer or the writers, about the audience, about the culture and time of surrounding the text. Explain there are many things which we can analyze, which we can develop. And then the text in content analysis must be coded or broken down. It means coded. Coding means breaking down the text into manageable code categories for analysis. It means into codes. In this case, coding method or coding analysis is an important part, an important way in analyzing the data in content analysis. That is why later I focus on this coding analysis or coding method. Once the text is coded into code categories, the codes can be further categorized into code categories to summarize data even further. It means that this is actually the further step in coding analysis. Firstly, usually this is something like actual coding. The second point is open coding, for example, like that. Okay. Well, this is the general, let us say, process, and the general process, but not complete process. The general process in content analysis starting from data management. The general process starting from this, from data management, and then we go to chunking of text. The data here, of course, in the form of text, either simple text or medium text or longer text. The text in what they said should be chunked. Actually, this is actually coded. And then after that, we code or we conduct the coding of chunks. It means we have to label the chunks from the text. It means the name, the theme, let us say, and the name of what is it about. The code is about what, or the chunk is about what, something like that. And then after that, we analyze or analysis of coding. Of course, in coding of chunks, we can have many codes, many codes. And then because there are many codes, why we have many codes? Because there are many chunks of text. Many chunks of text. That is why we then analyze the coding. After that, we arrive at the analysis until we got the result of the research findings, and we arrive at the reports or the papers or thesis. It means the complete report, complete what they said, writing, complete writing. Okay, dear my participants, let us continue. These are more analysis units in content analysis. Previously, we got some, and these are other from another writer, another author. In content analysis, a unit is an identifiable message or message component. The unit is a message actually, yeah, but the message is identifiable. It means easily identified. If it is a message which is identified easily, then this is reflected from, if it is a word, it is a specific word, not any word. It is a specific word. When if we go to larger than word, of course, this is,
Ya Allah, tinggal tugas.
This is easier. Okay. And then the message serve as the basis for identifying the population and drawing a sample. The message is the component on which variables are measured and serve as the basis for reporting analysis. This is the further steps. And then the units of analysis can be words, can be characters. Characters here refer to on this word. This term refers to something like the audience, and then themes, time periods, statements, or terms in an interaction, or any other outcome of picking up a communication into bits. It means that any bit of communication can be a source of data in content analysis, either in spoken form or in written form. Once again, if it is spoken form, it will be easier if it is transcribed into written form. Okay, we go to next point. These are the common sources of data in content analysis. There are many sources. There are many many techniques. We can also say that. This can be closely related to ELT. It means the data which are taken from some or many of these sources can be related to English language teaching. That is why please try to take up the points. For example, the data can be taken from the interviews, either structured interviews or in-depth interviews. It means, of course, this is the result of the transcription. And then the data can also be taken from open-ended questions. Open-ended questions, not if it is closed question, of course, this is very limited. That is open-ended. In order that we can get more information, and then we can, because just now I told you that that content analysis is narrative in nature. And then in focus group discussions, we can also take data. And then from case studies, from work papers, from agency documents, from field research notes, Maybe when we conduct research, there are many techniques, and then there may be many data, and the data can be separated into some types of analysis. For example, in field research notes, we analyze differently. For example, in a certain research. And then from conversations, We can also get the data in content analysis, or from literally any occurrence of communicative language, such as books, essays, discussions, newspaper headlines, speeches, media, historical documents, etc. Actually, from these sources, we can understand that there are unlimited data in content analysis. Thus, we can actually make or conduct a research in content analysis variously. It means there are still many topics, especially in our department context. Yeah, there are still many topics we can conduct in relation to or in content analysis framework. Okay, these are just in the uses of content analysis. I think we can proceed to next. There are two types of content analysis, but these two types are actually interrelated. They can be united in one frame. It means conceptual analysis is the preceding the initial step, and then relational analysis is the following step, the previous steps and the following steps. But in certain cases, maybe we focus only on conceptual analysis, of course, but the result will be in limited sense, in limited focus. But if we combine those two types of analysis, of course, we will get a complete picture, a complete understanding of a certain topic. Conceptual analysis determines the existence and frequency of concepts in a text. This is conceptual analysis. Meanwhile, relational analysis develops the conceptual analysis further by examining the relationship among concepts in a text. So from these explanations, we can say that these two types of analysis, content analysis, are interrelated. They should be done in a single framework. Okay, let us continue. Okay, Pusawi, would you please later remind me? For example, there are 10 minutes left, for example. Because,
Sure, I will.
Still many slides. This is about conceptual analysis. What we do in conceptual analysis. This is what is it for examination and the analysis that involves quantifying and counting expressions. This tends to be quantitative in nature. Quantitative. And then the main goal in conceptual analysis is to examine the occurrence of selected terms in the data. We will focus on what term. Of course, there are many terms, there are many words, there are many ideas in a text which are which are realized in the data. And we can focus on one term or certain terms. We can select and then we try to examine the occurrence. The terms may be explicit, may also be implicit. If it is explicit, of course, it is easy to identify. But what is problematic is the implicit one, the implicit terms in the data. Coding is an important step in content analysis. In coding of implicit terms, researchers need to decide the level of implication and base judgments on subjectivity. Okay, this is there we have the term subjectivity. Level of implication and base judgments on subjectivity. Why? Because it is related to implicit terms, not explicit terms. That is why the interpretation can be subjective. But the subjectivity must be minimized, of course. The judgment can be limited, can be subjective. That is why the researchers here are supposed to have critical thinking, critical analysis, or smart thinking, something like that. Because we are faced with what they said, inanimate objects, not living objects. And that is why this is, as researchers, we may be free, but we are limited in certain conditions. Coding of implicit terms involves using a dictionary or contextual translation rules or both. Translation rules means what is it? Interpretation. Yeah? The rules of the interpretation, in order that the process of coding can be consistent, can be organized well. We can use dictionary in order to minimize the subjectivity, for example. Okay. These are the general steps for conducting a conceptual content analysis. Once again, conceptual analysis and relational analysis are suggested to be analyzed in a single framework, but they can be done step by step. For this, for example, the general steps are, for example, decide the level of analysis. Yeah. For example, word, sense, phrase, sentence, themes, and so on. And then identify the research question and choose a sample or samples for analysis. Why? Because if the texts are longer, then there are many points, many topics, then we can choose the sample, decide whether the code, or whether to code for existence or to code for frequency of a concept. And the existence of a concept or the frequency of a concept. That is a matter of choice, of a matter of procedure. And then decide on how you will distinguish among concepts as for the step. Should the text be coded exactly as they appear, or coded as the same when they appear in different forms? For example, the term dangerous versus dangerousness. And these two terms coded as a single term, a single idea, or coded differently. That is a matter of choice, a matter of procedure. And then develop rules for coding the text. Means in order that we can be consistent, and we have to decide the rules. In this case, a researcher can begin developing rules for translation, for interpretation of the text into quotes to make the coding process organized. That is the point. Yeah. And then next step is decide what to do with irrelevant information. In a text, for example, in just a passage or a paragraph, there may be many relevant points. There may also be irrelevant points. What should we do with the irrelevant points or irrelevant information? Should this be ignored, for example, or should this be considered in different scheme, for example? The common irrelevant information refers to the terms like, or the words like the and or the function widths. And then the second step, code the text into manageable content categories and categories. This can be done by hand or by using software. If it is by hand, commonly it is qualitative. If it is using by software, commonly it is quantitative. This is basically a process of selective reduction. I would like to read further, in order that they can get the point. They're reducing the text into categories. Actually, this is the process of coding. The process of coding. The researcher can focus on and code for specific words or patterns that inform the research question. And then the last one is analyze the results. Okay. These are the three steps in conducting conceptual. And then relational analysis in content analysis. Similar to conceptual analysis, in relation analysis, it begins what the analysis where a concept is chosen for examination. It means we also consider a certain concept in this case. The analysis involves exploring the relationship between concepts, as long as this is relational analysis. Of course, there are many concepts which can be broken down from, which can be quoted from a certain text. And then individual concepts are viewed as having no inherent meaning, and rather the meaning is a product of relationship among concepts. So the focus is on the relationships among concepts. The individual concept is said to be what they say inherent, said to be inherent, because we have to relate to between one concept and other in order that we can have new real concept, real understanding. And then to begin the relational content analysis, we can do this. I think you can read. And then inside relational analysis, there are three subcategories. For example, this is, affect extraction, proximity analysis, and cognitive mapping. Actually, when we arrive at the relational, when we relate one concept to others, then we can invert many things. For example, the emotion and the emotion of the text, and then the co-occurrence, the co-occurrence of the context, in order that we can get the overall meaning of the text, and then the cognitive mapping to visualize the real understanding of the real theme, the real meaning of the topic we are analyzing. These are the subcategories in relational analysis. And then these are the general steps for conducting relational content analysis. The first one, the same thing in conceptual, determine the type of analysis. And then reduce the text to categories and quote, and then explore the relationship between concepts. When we conduct the analysis by using quoting analysis, actually we do this. We do these steps. When we explore the relationship between concepts, we can get the information about the strengths of relationship, the sign of relationship, and then the direct of relationship, which can be inferred from the text. These are the rules. And then next step, quote the relationship, and then perform statistical analysis when necessary, and then map out the representations similar to the subcategory. These are the general steps. Okay, we would to save the time. Yeah. Okay, and then the general process. Yeah, I take from a certain source. Yeah, maybe this may be easier for you to understand rather than the previous understanding or previous explanation. Yeah. For example, this is just one example, one process, but general. Yeah. For example, step 1, the interviews were listened to and thereafter read through several times to obtain a sense of the whole. This is the first thing which when we want to conduct content analysis after collecting the data from, and especially in this case from interviews. Yeah. Interviews, listened, and then read or learn, and so on, in order to get the whole understanding. And then step 2, the transcribed text was divided into units of meaning. Yeah. Transcribed text from the interviews divided into units of meaning, which were condensed and labeled with quotes. It means actually the units of meaning are quoted appropriately or correctly, depending on the information based on the message which we can take from the unit of analysis, or take from the text. And then step 3, the quotes were compared, looking for similarities and differences, and then sorted into subcategories and two main categories. This is actually closely related to relational analysis or relational analysis in content analysis. And then step 4, verify that the coding was congruent with the units of meaning. It means that we make sure in this case that what we have quoted are appropriate, are valid, are verified appropriately, so that they are congruent with the units of meaning. There are no inappropriate coding. That is what we have to do. And finally, can you still hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sure, Pak.
Okay. There is what is it? The connection is disturbed. Let me share the PPT again. Okay, which one? This one, okay. This is just an example, but first, this example is behind our maybe out of our point. I mean, this is not really a language problem, yeah, but this is a problem in health, yeah, in health. But quoting and then deciding the theme. This is an example you can read through. Yeah, this is the meaning unit, and then we can get the quote and that this tag and the meaning unit is can be labeled, can be quoted as difficulties in reaching the target users. This is the quote on the idea. And then the category of this quote is administrative and structural problems of the programs. And then the theme is barriers to NSP implementation. This is in health department, yeah, in health department. Just look at the process, not the text here. Okay, another example. This is the left, the first column, the interview transcript. For example, we had a French class and we were studying the lyrics of song, and then there was a puzzle where you had to combine and so on. Yeah? And then the relevant component or the relevant content component, which we can take from this text, for example, a kind of different learning situation. Of course, we have just now we can understand that when we arrive at data, observing the data, analyzing the data, then we have to read the data wholly in order that we can get the general idea on the data. And then after we have read this kind of data on these texts, then we can get several relevant content component, a kind of different learning situation. And then in math class, for example, when you don't do puzzle or the like, and then it was like a really relaxed atmosphere, for example. And then meaning interpretation, something like this. Yeah. And then the category of analysis, this is action of practices. And then actually there is still further category, which we usually call theme, as the previous example shows. Okay, this is as a process example. And these are the characteristics of quantitative and qualitative content analysis. When we want to know, when maybe one of you wants to conduct content analysis quantitatively, the others want to conduct content analysis qualitatively, then you can read through, you can understand this. For example, the research approach in quantitative is deductive, meanwhile in qualitative, inductive. This is what this is very important to consider. Yeah? And then the research tradition or orientation is in quantitative, it is positivist, and then in qualitative, naturalist, humanist, or hermeneutics. It means what they said just now, we get the nature in natural in essence, content analysis in natural in essence in qualitative. And then the objective for conducting content analysis quantitatively is to make replicable and inferences from text, and then to the context of their use from what they said, Krippendorf. And then the objectives of doing content analysis qualitatively is to capture the meanings, to capture the emphasis and themes of messages, and so on. Yep. So that is the idea. And then the data, the nature of the data in content analysis, in quantitative paradigm, the nature is syntactic, semantic, pragmatic categories, naturally occurring text or text generated for project. In qualitative paradigm, it is similar, not so different. Syntactic also, semantic also, pragmatic categories, similar and not so different. Why? Because we deal with text. we deal with tests which can be approached similarly, though the objective is different. This is the similar characteristic. Well, we proceed to this one. It means in the beginning of this explanation, I told you that an important part in conducting analysis is in content analysis is coding analysis.
Excuse me, Purana.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. To remind you that you have around 5 more minutes.
Oh, 5 more. 5 more. I hope 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. These are coding analysis method. I hope that this is not so strange, not new. Not new. I think many of you, especially some semester 8 maybe, this is not new. Let us arrive at this. An examples of coding. This is raw data. Raw data. This is just a bridge. A preliminary code. This is a bridge to arrive at the code, real code. That this text is actually about retirement anxiety. But if we cannot arrive at directly this code on this point, retirement anxiety, we can do this first. We can take this. For example, this text is also related to retirement age, financial obligations, dreams of early retirement. This is as an example. Okay, this is the types and process of coding analysis. There are commonly 3 types of coding analysis. They are coding, open coding, actual coding, and then selective coding. Of course, these are done after the data are collected already, which can be collected through observation, interview, discussion, and many others. Open coding is generally conceptual labeling. Conceptual labeling, it means giving labels, but once again, coding does not merely labeling, but it is more than that. And then actual coding is actually finding the relationship between categories which we can get from the coding, the first step on the open coding step. And then after having the understanding on the relationship between the categories, which we can take from the text, then we can arrive at the selective coding. This is selection of co-category. It means the main theme, the main idea of the text. And then if we relate one text to other texts, it means that we relate one theme to other themes, or one core category to other core categories. Let's say, as long as there are many passages, there are many texts in a certain topic. And then these are guidelines for open coding. Some of the guidelines. Now, when we try to conduct open coding, these are the important questions which are related, but these questions may not be applied wholly. I mean, maybe some of them, part of them are all related, but some others are not related to the use. That is why they are flexible to use. What, who, how, when, how much, how long, why, and so on. These are when we conduct open coding to quote, to label. And then actual coding. This is actual coding. Actually, actual coding is assembling the data in which after open coding. And the coding is what is it? The results of also open coding are assembled in such a way to get certain categories. These are the essence of actual coding. And then this the actual coding, still actual coding, but remember here, when we are dealing with open coding, actually we can arrive at more points. For example, this one. We can arrive at behaviors, events, activities, strategies, states, meaning, participation, relationship, and so on. Actually, wherever they are necessary, wherever they are relevant to our analysis, of course, they can be considered. And then this is an example of actual coding. For example, this is here open coding. We have code. We get some code, and then we have many codes in open coding, and then the codes are categorized. Maybe we have 8 codes, then 3 codes belong to one category. Then the other 4, 3 codes belong to one category. The other 5 belong to different codes, for example, or different category. And then this is the last step in coding analysis, selective coding. This one, selective coding. Selective coding is used to find the core category based on actual coding. One category based on different codes, core category, and then we can get the theme. Or we can use this. For example, there are many pages of text, and then this is segmented into limited text, shorter text, and then we can get 30 up to 40 codes. And then in actual coding, we get reduced codes into 20 categories, and finally we can get 5 up to 7 themes or core categories. This is selective coding. Okay, these are just examples of research titles in content analysis, in order that to enrich our understanding, to broaden our understanding in content analysis. Number 1 up to number 5. The content analysis is related to books, books, and then the next is related. This one is related to newspapers, and the last one is related to what is it? Others, in journal means what is it? Different area of content analysis. So in short, that I can say that the content analysis can be done variously. The data sources are various. The topics can be various. In short, there are still many chances, many challenges to conduct content analysis. Thank you, Ms. Sophie.
Thank you, Pak Surono. Yeah. Thank you, Pak Surono, for
and return the floor.
yes, yeah. Thank you, Pak Surono, for the great presentation. And before I forget, thank you also for the revisions regarding my mentioning the UNSSD, Universitas Negeri Surakarta, which is wrong then. This is quite new for me that NS is indeed referring to Universitas 11 Maret Surakarta. This is new for me. Okay, Pak Surono, once again, thank you very much for the presentations. And I believe that it gave the audience deeper insights and also knowledge related to content analysis research. And I believe that the audience have got more things to discuss and more questions to ask for. And for that, the audience, if you have any questions or you need to get more clarifications about the presentations, feel free to type them in the chat box, or you may hit the raise hand button and give the questions directly. Yeah. So, Pak Surono, while waiting for the audience to give questions or clarifications or further information that related to the content analysis research, I am personally interested with the ideas about the content analysis research for the students in English Education Department, PBIUAD. What do you think about the chance or the possibility for the students to do the content analysis, Pak Surono? How promising is it? What do you think? Or how challenging is it?
Okay, thank you, Sophie. As I told you previously, actually there are still many chances, many challenges. As long as the data of content analysis can be taken from various media, various channels, and if we deal with English department, English education department, now we can say, for example, taking the data from textbooks. This is the easiest one, but actually classroom interactions between teachers and students can also be analyzed. Interviews from teachers to students, for example, can also be analyzed. What is it? Actually, there are many data, many sources which we can take from classroom context. Actually, the student talks, the student discussion, for example. Of course, they produce, the students when conducting discussion, they produce languages, they produce utterances, and the utterances can be, of course, can be text, not only a single word, but can be text. And the texts are, of course, consisting of some ideas, and the ideas must be related or must be interrelated. That is why the content of the student discussion can be also analyzed, can also be analyzed. The teachers, even the teachers teaching, the teacher's explanation can also be analyzed actually. But once again, if we deal with spoken language, it is difficult enough to analyze directly. That is why we need to transcribe the spoken language into to written language in the form of transcription to make us easier to analyze. That is the idea. So actually, it is not related to textbook only. Textbooks which are used by teachers in teaching, but from classroom context, actually, we can conduct content analysis. We can take topics, we can take up topics in content analysis framework, actually, to enrich our understanding. But as long as we read many examples, many titles, subtitles, and then we try to read journals, I think we can get more understanding. So, in other words, there are still many, even I can say a lot, lot of chances, a lot of topics which we can analyze. The students, especially in those belong to semester 6, you still have ample time to prepare the research on content analysis. But of course, it is not possible if all students conduct content analysis. I think so, Usawi, and I think it is not a kind of worry that there is only limited source of content analysis. There are still many.
Okay. Very interesting, Pak Surono. Yeah, very interesting. So indeed, content analysis research can be as simple as doing it with working with textbooks, and then analyzing it using the content analysis approach, to as complex or big as analyzing the classroom interactions with spoken setting or things like that. But as Pak Surono said, that the topic can be various and broad, and this is promising. So the students, I do believe that Pak Surono's explanation just now about how promising it is to do the content analysis research is opening the horizons of your knowledge about research, especially in content analysis research. Do you agree with me, students? If so, please, you may type your questions in the chat box, or you may directly give the questions by hitting the button of raising your hand, so that you can give your questions directly to Pak Surono. Come on, please. And by the way, there will be some prizes or giveaways for some questions addressed to the speakers or to Pak Surono especially. So please go. Give Pak Surono some questions, or ask you may also do some confirmations about your understanding while listening to Pak Surono's presentations. Not necessarily or not always or not should be in the form of questions. You may also confirm whether what you understood or what you got during the presentations is correct or not, or things as simple as that.
There are two possibilities, Bu Sophie. The
Oh,
participants are confused or the participants
overwhelmed.
understand well.
I do hope that they are in the process of processing all of the information that Pak Surono gave. Oh, one question from Ibu Nur Fatima. How should the receiver's analysis of findings be validated in content analysis research? So Pak Surono, it is the questions which is related to the validations process or data triangulations process or things like that. So please do Pak Surono. Monggo.
Okay, thank you, Bu Sophie and Bu Nur. Yeah. Something like the trustworthiness. Yeah? Something like the trustworthiness. Actually, there are many ways how to guarantee the trustworthiness of research finding or research data. Actually, there are many ways. Yeah, in ELT, we are familiar with triangulation. But when we deal with text, when filled with text deriving from textbook, for example, from printed materials, for example, newspapers or textbooks or magazines, for example, actually the trustworthiness, the validation or the verification can be done by showing the sources. For example, when it is a textbook, what book is it? What is the title of the textbook and the information about the textbooks? And then after presenting the data, we can supply the data with, for example, the chapter or the page of the textbook, for example. That is actually one way, yeah? One way. But if what is it? When the data are taken from other techniques or other sources, for example, from interviews, for example, of course, the transcription which the researchers or which we do as researchers must be checked to get the balance, whether what we transcribe is already correct or not. So in this case, we ask the balance of the transcription to the interviewee, in this case, to the interviewee. So it depends on the sources of data. Right? Sources of data, if it is printed, of course, there is no, what they said, it is not necessary to ask the writers of the textbook, the writers of the newspapers, but just by showing the page, the title of the textbook, the chapter, we as the researchers have verified the data. The data is already authentic, actually. That is my answer. I'm so sorry if there is misunderstanding. Okay, that is my answer. Sophie. You are still mute, Bu Sophie.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Pak Surono, for the answer or the explanations regarding the process of validations or the trustworthiness of the findings or results of the content analysis research method. Yeah, it's very clear now then. And second question is from Aziza Mutiara. I have questions about what aspects or what discourse that can be analyzed in addition to textbooks. Yeah, even though Pak Surono has already mentioned some examples in addition to textbooks, but I think if Pak Surono gives more examples of the discourses or text, spoken text, or any text in addition to textbooks, that might be clearer for the students, especially for Mbak Azizah Mutiara. Monggo, Surono.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. The participants and the committee. So, that's okay. Yeah. This is like lecturing. Yeah. When the student asks to get questions, similar thing happens. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. As what Sophie has explained, Ms. Aziza, actually there are a lot of sources, a lot of channels, a lot of texts, a lot of discourses which we can take when conducting content analysis. The units of analysis can be understood from the very simple one. I mean, the simplest one is word unit, because specific words can imply specific ideas, important ideas. Yeah. When, for example, when I experience in joining Professor Handoyo's forum, at that time, a text, just a text, is coded in various ways, can be coded into many categories, many codes. And the codes are taken from a single word, from a phrase, from a sentence, for example. And then after that, we can understand the whole text, that it is about something, put something. And that is actually the process. But of course, it also depends on the objective of our analysis or our study. When we want to analyze the text profoundly or deeply, it is better for us to analyze minutely, I mean in detail. Maybe a specific term, a specific word can imply an important idea. That is why we have to code this term in one category, only in one code, for example. That is actually one thing. So if we are asked beside textbooks, actually there are still a lot of, as I told you, from classroom interactions, actually there are many data which we can take to conduct content analysis, as long as they meet the requirements of content analysis based on the principles or based on the definition. For example, one of them is narrative in nature, for example, narrative in nature. It means that there are some ideas, at least in the discourse or in the text. I think that is my answer.
Thank you, Pak Surono. It's clearer. It's clearer now. Talking about the last statement that Pak Surono said just now about the possibilities of having classroom interactions to be used as the data for the content analysis research. So, by the way, what kind of if for example, Pak Surono, if the students are interested in studying the content analysis research, what are the basic procedures, Pak Surono? What to do, the practical steps to do? So what if, for example, Mbak Aziza is interested in, okay, I think this is the time for me to start the content analysis research, but what should I do? So maybe Pak Surono can give the students a more practical, basic steps or basic things to do.
In classroom context?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
In practical things, what to do first and then what to do next. So maybe in finding out about the ideas. Yeah. So maybe
Okay,
there are
yeah.
some tips.
Yeah, okay. This, of course, not from the very beginning step, yeah, not from the very beginning step. Okay, in classroom context, if, for example, we want to, analyze the interaction, the interaction between teachers and students. Of course, the interaction here is not just, not just the lecturing and the explanation of the teachers. Actually, the explanation of the teacher can also be analyzed in content analysis framework. Yeah. But let us say, for example, in the interaction between teachers and students. For example, in the discussion, we do not consider, but we do not also ignore that. Whether the teacher speaks much or not, but there is interaction, and of course, in this case, after understanding what to analyze, yeah, the researcher should come into the assumption is offline class interaction. So the researcher or a person who helped the researcher has to arrive, has to attend the class, and then to record the interaction. Of course, it is impossible if we just write down the languages they use in the interaction. Of course, we have to record them. And then after that, as I told you often, that it is more difficult for us to analyze the spoken language. So usually we also have from transcription. That is why the recording should be transcribed into written form. And then we have to analyze. And this is actually a text or a dialogue, a dialogue between the teachers and students in what they said, oral tests. In oral tests, actually, this can also be analyzed using content analysis. Yeah. In the examination is oral, and there is oral what they said, interaction between the examiner and the examinee. Actually, the language which is produced by the examiner and the examinee can also be analyzed in content analysis framework, as long as the text which is produced by the interview, the examiner and the examinee is actually what they said, this contain certain messages, certain information. So it can be, yeah. Maybe say, for example, there are parallel classes, say, for example, 4 parallel classes taught by 4 different teachers or different lecturers. And then the examination is oral, should be done in oral examination. And then in this case, we can compare the languages produced by the first examiner, second examiner, and all the examiners differently. And of course, there will be a specific construct on the language produced by, and this can inform a certain theme, a certain idea in analyzing those kinds of interaction or those kinds of analysis. Yeah. So I think it is not difficult to do, yeah, when we want to conduct content analysis in classroom context. Yeah, I think that is the answer.
Yeah, sure. Well, Surana's encouragement said just now is attracting me personally to have a try with the content analysis research, and I believe that the students following this webinar are also interested in trying to, or in having a try with the content analysis research. And I think that it's 11:32, so I think that we don't have any more sessions to extend the Q&A sessions, but there is some information regarding the sessions. So for the audience, please be informed that in the chat box, we provide you all with the link containing a form of your attendance. And of course, you have to fill in that, and make sure in filling in that form, you type your email address correctly, because your email address will be used as the primary way, or as the primary tool to deliver your certificates of your attendance for this webinar. So make sure that you type your email address correctly. And then the second notes is about the form. In the form, we ask you to answer, or we give you some. We give you a few questions related to the to this webinar, and we would like to know your thoughts and your opinions regarding this webinar. And please fill in or answer those questions by filling in answering the questions, 3 questions if I'm not mistaken, so that we can use that as the evaluations of this webinar, so that we can improve our webinars in the future. And thank you in advance for that. And then the next note is for the what? Regarding the availability of the slides, the PowerPoint presentations of the, or the slides of the presentations from both first and second speakers of today's webinar will be available on G Drive or Google Drive, and the link will also be delivered or will be given to you all through your email. So once again, make sure that you type your email address correctly. And the last one is about the recordings of this webinar. So in case some of you are by any chance missed this webinar, it is good news that the recordings of this webinar will be available on the official YouTube channel of PBIUAD, so that you can watch it again at a later time, or you may share it with someone who might be interested in the topic. Yeah. So I think that's all for today, and thank you again, Pak Surono, for spending time. Yeah, for spending time with us all, and for sharing your thoughts and your knowledge with us all, as well as your experience regarding the content analysis research. Thank you very much. And audience, for that, let's give big clap to Pak Surono. You may show your clap in the chat box. So let's give clap to Pak Surono. Clap, clap, clap for Pak Surono. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with this, it means that this signals the end of session 2, which is focusing on the content analysis research. Once again, thank you very much, Pak Surono, and thank you very much for the audience. And yeah, thank you very much. See you again later on or at other webinars held by PBI UAD. From me, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mbak Azizah Mutiara, it's now your turn
Okay.
to close the webinar session.
Yes. Thank you so much for our second speaker and moderator. And thank you so much for the delightful presentation that was really interesting and beneficial for us. Ladies and gentlemen, before going to the last agenda, surprisingly, the team provides some prizes for those who has been participated actively. Those are Mas Suhendri Palaguna and Mas Yogiantoro. Please contact Ms. Ratri for further information. I will give the number in the chat box. Okay, before I close the webinar today, everyone, could you please turn on your camera for the photo session? Yes, because we will have a photo session for the documentation. Please turn on your camera. Okay, for slide 1, smile please. Okay, the next slide, slide 2. Slide 3. Okay, next slide, slide 4. Okay, thank you everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the end of our agenda today. Let us close our agenda by reciting Hamdalah together.
Alhamdulillah.
These are the agendas we have presented to you all this morning. We hope everything we have learned today will be beneficial for all of us. Thank you very much for spending time with us. See you on the next occasion. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye bye everybody.
Thank you Pak Suramno.
Thank you.
Thank you Bapak and Miss.
Silakan bagi para peserta. Bagi para peserta yang belum mengisi presensi, silakan bisa mengisi presensi dengan mengklik link yang ada di chat box. Terima kasih.